Amid Trudeau's political downfall and trade war concerns, now Canada's Liberal Party has named Mark Carney as Trudeau's successor. Carney, 59, replaces Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who announced his resignation in January but remains Prime Minister until his successor is sworn in the coming days. Carney won in a landslide, winning 85.9% of the vote. The former central bank governor has a host of challenges to tackle, primarily being the trade war and federal elections that loom. Meanwhile, Carney has said that Canada will keep the retaliatory tariffs in place until the Americans show us respect.
We have made this the greatest country in the
Canada
world.
est l'un des plus
And now,
beaux pays du monde. L'un des plus grands. Et maintenant,
and now our neighbors want to take us.
nos voisins veulent nous annexer.
No way. No way.
Mais pas du tout.
There's someone who's trying to do
Il y
the
a une personne
opposite.
qui essaie de faire le
There's someone who's
contraire,
trying to
qui
weaken
essaie
our
d'affaiblir
economy.
notre économie.
Yeah. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, as we
Donald
know,
Trump,
has
comme nous le
put,
savons,
as the Prime Minister just said,
et le Premier ministre a
unjustified
souligné, a mis de
tariffs
l'avant
on what
des
we
tarifs
build, on what
injustifiés
we
sur tout ce que
sell,
nous
on
construisons,
how we
vendons
make a
et
living.
comment nous gagnons nos vies.
He's attacking
Il s'est attaqué
Canadian
aux
families,
travailleurs,
workers,
aux
and
familles et aux
businesses.
entreprises
And we
canadiennes.
cannot let him
Et on ne peut
succeed.
pas le laisser faire.
And we won't.
A man most Canadians barely recognized months ago now stands to be the next Prime Minister of Canada. Mark Carney, a former central banker, is expected to take over the leadership of the Liberal Party, succeeding Justin Trudeau, who announced his resignation earlier this year. Carney will have just months to rebuild his party for a national election and protect Canada from Donald Trump's tariff threats and even annexation. Carney's story is unique. Born in Canada's Northwest Territories, he grew up in Edmonton, studied at Harvard and Oxford, and spent 13 years at Goldman Sachs. In 2008, he led Canada through the financial crisis as the Bank of Canada's governor. In 2013, he became the first non-British citizen to lead the Bank of England, steering the UK through Brexit. But Carney has never been a career politician. His rise began in 2021 when he aligned with the Liberal Party. By late 2023, Trudeau's popularity was plummeting. When Carney was offered the finance minister post in December, he declined. The move triggered internal turmoil, ultimately forcing Trudeau to step down. Carney now presents himself as a financial expert, not a typical politician. His campaign pitch was simple: fix Canada's economy and push back against Trump's trade threats. When Trump joked about annexing Canada, Carney shot back: "We find you attractive, but we are not moving in with you." A line that went viral. While Carney's background makes him ideal for managing economic turmoil, it also paints him as an outsider, a banker who spent more time working for foreign governments than his own. Yet Mark Carney's international clout could work in his favor. European leaders like Emmanuel Macron and former UK Chancellor George Osborne have praised his leadership, seeing him as a stabilizing force against Donald Trump. For a man who built his career behind closed doors, Mark Carney now finds himself in the heart of Canada's biggest political storm. Winning the election would be a milestone, but holding on to power under the looming shadow of Trump will be his real test. With Rhythm Arcadia, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Let's go across to Maha Siddiqui, who's joining us live from Vancouver. Maha, thank you so much for joining us. Now we understand that Carney has successfully navigated through several financial crises when he was the Bank of Canada's governor, as well as the governor of the Bank of England. How's that likely to sort of impact his policies going ahead, Maha? What do you think?
This is one of the biggest reasons why we are seeing Mark Carney where he is at the moment, having won the race to the Liberal Party leader by 86% almost, which is even higher than what Trudeau managed to get in 2013, which was 80%. A lot of hopes now hinging on him as an economist, as a banker, to be able to navigate through the war that has been unleashed by US President Donald Trump on the issue of tariffs. As far as tariffs themselves are concerned and the retaliatory tariffs that have been announced by Canada, Mark Carney has today made it clear that they will go ahead unless the US shows respect to Canada. The first batch of the retaliatory tariffs by Canada are already in force for about $30 billion worth of goods coming in from the United States. Another $125 billion worth of goods, the retaliatory tariffs on those have been kept on hold till the 2nd of April, when Donald Trump has said that the rest of the equal retaliatory tariffs, as he's calling, globally will go out and be announced by the White House. So at the moment, this is the current situation with tariffs. On the domestic policy front, Mark Carney has been attacked on issues like the carbon tax, and he has indicated that he will or he might pull that back, though it is very important in the fight on climate action that is against climate change.
Right,
However, since it's unpopular, he's unlikely to take that back. Priyanka.
All right, Maha, thank you so much for getting us those details. We're also joined by Terry Miluscu, who is a retired senior correspondent at CBC, joining us live from Ottawa. Mr. Miluscu, help us understand really the perception of Carney as a leader, as someone who has a very strong background in economics and finance. How is that like to shape his policies going ahead, considering the geopolitical tensions and the tariff concerns as of now?
Well, it has made a big difference on the election campaign, which, of course, has already informally begun as soon as Trudeau announced his resignation back on January the 6th. And in the month and a half since then, the Liberal political fortunes have completely reversed from being as much as 30 points behind the Conservatives, written off by the experts as inevitable losers of the election, which will soon follow all this. And now, suddenly, wait a minute, hold that thought, because it's all changed. Instead of an election about how unpopular Trudeau is, now it's an election about how unpopular Trump is and who's best to deal with him. And the Liberal Party, which has an eye on keeping their jobs in Parliament, the Liberal Party membership has decided that to deal with the financial crisis, we need somebody who convincingly dealt not with one but with two financial crises in his former life. First, the financial crisis of 2008 when he was Bank of Canada governor, and then the Brexit crisis when he was Bank of England governor. So the message is he's been there. Don't hire a full-time politician for somebody for a job that requires real international sophistication and expertise.